Hi everyone. I just thought I've got to come out to go to the chemist as per usual, and I thought I've been promising to do this video for so long, and I've got the perfect opportunity to do it while I'm driving, and I've got a little bit of time to myself. So I just wanted to record a bit of my story with CRPS, how I got where I am, and yeah, so my story began in 2017, I believe. It was making a website, a new website, and I had spent many hours sitting at a computer desk trying to get the website done, and I had a bit of an achy back, like you do. I didn't think much of it, and I'd almost finished the website, and I went into the kitchen and I sat down, and as soon as I sat down I knew something had happened. My back was just so painful. I can't remember if I called for my partner or if my partner was there, but you know, it became evident that I was in trouble. So I couldn't actually stand up or anything. It was really painful. I knew that something had happened to my back, obviously, and long and short of it is an ambulance was called and I was taken to hospital. I was put on a ward. I think I had scans and things done, but to cut a very long story short, I had not slipped a disc, I had a bulging disc in my L5, and that was what was causing all the issues, probably because I was sat so long in the chair. So I was on the ward. There was talks about having a nerve root block because the pain was still atrocious. They were giving me, I think it was morphine, and it was just awful. I couldn't get out of the bed. If I needed the toilet, they had to wheel me on like a standing wheelchair, which was just so painful. I didn't want to have the nerve root block because I knew it entailed putting a needle into my spine, and I have got not a fear of needles, but I have a fear of needles in spines. I've got 5 children, naturally born on just gas and air, and even if I'd needed an epidural, I don't think I would have had one because of this fear that I've got of needles and spines. Anyway, that was really my only option, I think, at that point. It was, you know, I was going to be in pain, or I was going to have this nerve root block, which I didn't want to have done. Anyway, in the end, I agreed. I mean, I couldn't see any other option, to be honest with you. But I was absolutely petrified. I was in tears the day that it was due to happen. You know, I was having panic attacks and I couldn't breathe properly. And I thought, this is ridiculous. You know, you need to get over yourself. It's the only way you're going to be helped. Christmas was literally just around the corner. It was weeks away, and I knew there really wasn't any other option. So they took me down, crying, in a wheelchair, where I sat outside the radiology room with my daughter, my oldest daughter, and then it was my time to go in. Now I couldn't walk properly, and I went into this room. They wheeled me into this room where there was a table, there was a nurse in there with the radiologist who obviously was going to do the actual root block, and he was a grumpy bugger. He wasn't in a very good mood that day, clearly, and me being nervous and in pain didn't exactly cheer me up or fill me full of confidence. And he said to me, get up on the table, and I remember just thinking, okay, you know, I can't do that. So the nurse had to help me to get up on the table. I explained to the nurse I was nervous and the thought of needles and spines and everything. She said, don't worry, it will be uncomfortable, but it won't hurt you. It shouldn't cause you, you know, more pain, but it will be uncomfortable. So that calmed me down a bit, and I had to lay flat on my stomach. And the actual radiologist didn't talk to me at all, just the nurse. And I was still upset. And he actually said to me, if you don't want to have this done, we've got plenty of patients that do. Which was just incredible to me. That upset me even more. So there I laid on the table, and he proceeded to put a machine over, an x-ray type machine over my back to locate where he was going to insert this needle. I think I'd actually calmed down at that point. I was still upset, but I'd calmed down at that point. I just thought, you're here, you're having it done, you know, it'll soon be over, Christmas around the corner. I was trying to think positive. Anyway, it took him quite a while, longer than I expected, with this machine. And then he proceeded to clean my back area. Sorry, this is not great while driving. Many roundabouts in Wales. He proceeded to clean my back area to do the needle. And again, I remember saying to the nurse, I'm scared, it's going to hurt. And she said, it's not going to hurt, it'll be uncomfortable. If anything does hurt, you have to let us know, because obviously that means that we're not in the right place. Great. So, okay, I'm laying on the table, the nurse is by my head, the other guy's behind me doing what he's doing, and he stuck the needle in. And that was where my life changed, because he clearly had put it in the wrong place. I must have jumped a foot off of the table, screamed my head off. I thought the back pain was bad enough, but this was just incredible. I just felt like someone had cut my back open with a knife. Yeah, I mean, it was just horrific. And I jumped, I looked at the nurse, and she was giving the radiologist a look. Like an angry but scared look, you know, like, oh shit, what's gone wrong? And he told me, keep still, and proceeded, you know, to move his needle about, because he obviously was in the wrong place, and then dispense whatever was in his needle wherever he chose to go. I just felt horrendous pain down both of my legs. He was done, wiped me off, sat me up. I opened the door to go outside, and my daughter looked as white as a ghost. She obviously had heard me screaming. Are you all right, Mum? Are you all right, Mum? And I just was crying, sat in the wheelchair, and I just knew it wasn't going to be good. I mean, apart from the fact it was a horrendous experience, the pain and the fact that I knew this needle had gone somewhere it shouldn't have gone just terrified me. At that point, I could still feel my legs, so you know, that was at least something, I guess. They took me back up to the ward, where I proceeded to tell whoever would listen what had happened. They didn't really seem to care, to be fair. I think I was in such a state when I initially went down, they possibly thought I was exaggerating, or this was my perception of what had happened. I don't know, but you know, my partner cared, my daughter cared, clearly. I just laid in the bed. I don't know the actual process of what happened over what sort of period next, but it ended with me not feeling the initial back pain as much, but I still wasn't walking very well. I was hobbling. They took me down and fitted me with some crutches and made sure that I could go up and down some steps, which I managed to do with difficulty, but my right leg was not right. I could feel there was something not right. Kept telling myself, you know, the nerve root block is helping with the back pain. Maybe these things just take time, and you know, I've got the crutches, I'm going home, Christmas is coming, and yeah, ended up going home on stitches, I went from the hospital bed to my sofa, because that's what I wanted, really. I just wanted to sleep. I was emotionally exhausted, never mind anything else. So I you know, slept on my sofa. Over the next, honestly, time has just really sort of messed up for this bit. But the long and short of it is, I became uncomfortable with my foot, my right foot. It was hurting unusually bad, considering I hadn't actually injured my foot. It was hurting a lot. And I took off my slipper. I didn't have any socks on. I took off my slipper, and the pain got worse and worse and worse and worse. My foot started to change a funny colour. It went red, it went pink, it went purple, a nice tinge of blue at times. And my toes on my right foot had started to curl in, almost like a claw. My right foot had also dropped at the ankle. I couldn't seem to keep my foot up. But the pain was absolutely incredible. It was as if I'd stuck my foot into hot lava. That's what it felt like. And any breeze or the thought of anyone going anywhere near my foot would make the pain worse. It just would make the pain worse. So my partner actually, he cut a cardboard box. If I can find a picture, I'll have to add it to this video. But he cut a cardboard box. I was so scared of anything touching my foot that he made this little foot house to put my foot into, so that I could lay down without fear of anything touching my foot. So sweet of him, and it did actually work. I did sleep with my foot in the box, but you know, needs must at the time. It was just horrendous. I'm not sure how long I stayed like that. I mean, it would have been a matter of days, if that, before the GP was called, because the pain, it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal pain. Like I said, I've had 5 kids on gas and air. This was worse. I mean, this was horrendous. So the GP came. I told him what had happened in the hospital, and I'm pretty sure he did prescribe me some painkillers, but he also wasn't happy with, you know, what he was presented with, and he did a referral to the pain clinic. I'm not sure I even knew the pain clinics existed at that point, to be fair. I'd been fairly healthy all my life, but yeah, he referred me to the pain clinic, and I waited months, 3 I think actually. I waited months for this pain clinic appointment. It eventually came through, and my daughter, the same daughter that was at the hospital with me, had come to the pain clinic with me to see the doctor, and we went in and I explained everything that had happened and exactly what I thought of the radiologist. He did actually ask what the radiologist's name was, and I couldn't remember, but my daughter, I don't think she'll ever forget the guy's name. She told him. And as is usual with all these hospitals, they know of it. Goodness me, guy stalled in front of me. They know of each other, and as soon as she said his name, he, you know, clearly knew who he was. And he said, he's one of the best, you know, he's a very good radiologist. And I just thought, yeah, I'm sure. Tell you what I was thinking, because I don't think YouTube would let me spout it. But anyway, told him what had happened, and he then wanted to examine me, and I think I dared him to go near my foot. I mean, I literally would have killed had anyone gone near my foot. It was so bad. He did an examination, you know, well, as much as he could do without going actually near my foot, listened to what I told him, and then sat us back down. My daughter was sitting behind me on a chair. I was at a desk. He was in front of me, the other side of the desk, and he said to me, I think I know what's going on. So I said, oh, well, you know, I was like, because at this point, nobody had a clue. He said, I think you've got something called complex regional pain syndrome. And I must have just had a blank look on my face. And he followed that up with, it's CRPS for short, used to be called RSD, or causalgia. And I think you have got CRPS type 2. What I don't want you to do is go home and Google. And he said that the reason I don't want you to go home and Google, because it will terrify you. That's what he said to me. Now, unbeknownst to me, behind me, my daughter, he hadn't even finished the sentence and she was already on Google. I didn't know this, but she was already on Google looking up, you know, what this was. He prescribed me pain pills and said to me that there was various things they could do, something called mirror therapy, which even to this day, I'm sorry, I'll save that for another video. But yeah, you know, there were things that they could do, and physiotherapy for my walking, and you know, that was it, and it was time to go. So I got up, I turned around, and my daughter, who had clearly Googled what CRPS was, almost looked as white as the day that I came out of the radiology room. I knew it wasn't good. I just knew it wasn't good. And he had given me some leaflets to look at, and I hobbled my way back to the car. My daughter obviously was driving, and went home and Googled. Because, well, I mean, my daughter knew what it was all about, so I was the patient and the one going through it, so I wanted to know. And yeah, it was as horrendous. Everything I read, you know, there's no cure for it. It can spread to different parts of the body. People can go into remission for it, but you know, the older you are, the less chance there is of that happening. All sorts of horrific things. So yeah, that's kind of my story and how I was diagnosed. Today I am better, in as much as better than I was then. I still take lots and lots of medications. I take slow release morphine tablets, pregabalin. I take duloxetine, which is actually an antidepressant. What else do I take? Oh, I take lots and lots of tablets, so many that I can't remember. I have like a liquid morphine if I'm having a flare, or if I get a breakthrough pain, I can have some of that. It takes the edge off. It doesn't stop the pain. It takes the edge off. And the slow release morphine that I take, it keeps the pain. It doesn't cure the pain. It keeps the pain at a level. So, you know, the most pain being a 10. On a normal day, I would say my normal level is probably a 7. But the morphine just keeps the painkiller at a steady dose. It's worked for me. I know there are a lot that swear that morphine-based painkillers do not help. That hasn't been my experience. There was a lot of trial and error, but this is what I've ended up with, and I've been taking these about, 5 years now. That the doses of things that I'm on now have been the same. I don't really have to have the liquid morphine very often. It's really, really unusual for me to take. I don't like taking the stuff. It doesn't taste very nice, apart from anything else. It's disgusting, and it does make you feel a bit, because it's an instant thing. So I don't like taking that. I like to have my wits about me. I hate feeling like a zombie. I like to keep busy, and I do lots of crafts, which I will save for another video. And I need to kind of be with it. I don't want to be laid on a sofa like a zombie all day, you know. It's just not for me. So I do, if I really need to, I will take some. If I'm having a flare or, you know, something like that, I will take a small amount, and that will help. Or it would send me to sleep, which always helps. On top of the CRPS, because of the CRPS, should I say, I've had chronic insomnia now for nearly 5 years. I haven't slept properly, hence the big bags under my eyes. 2 hours sleep at the most nights. It's actually very recently been getting better, and only very recently. If I get 4 or 5 hours, I feel like having a dance, you know. It's ridiculous, but it's been going on so long. The doctors have given me sleeping pills, the strongest ones they can prescribe. They just don't work. I just sit there, wide-eyed, all night. I know I have PTSD from my experience with the hospital. They did want me to have CBT therapy, which I kindly declined. I'm quite stubborn. If I don't feel something is for me, I just won't bother. But yeah, I know that's an issue, because there's not a day that goes by that I don't wake up with pain and instantly think about what happened. The thoughts last mere seconds now instead of half a day, but yeah, they're always there. I think they're always going to be there every time I go near a hospital. Yeah, it's not great, but it is what it is. I'm living my life. The pain in my foot, no one's going to let me out. Oh, there we go. The pain in my foot, it's still there. I would say most days it's a 6 or 7. I'm here in the UK, so we've recently, the weather has gone from very hot to quite cold. The clocks have changed, so it's dark early, and we're definitely in winter, and my foot definitely tells me that I'm in winter. Last week I actually did have to have a little swig of Oromorph because the temperature drop just set me off into a flare. I've also been watching the Take Care of Maya trial. If you don't know what this is, a girl in America, and the girl, very young, 9 or 10, injured her foot, and the result was CRPS. It's a very long story. I am going to do another video because I've been watching the trial literally till 3 AM in the morning. I'm doing that. I'm interested, obviously, what happens. There's a Netflix documentary of the same name, Take Care of Maya, that you can watch the story of this poor girl and what she went through. I'm not going to go into it too much now, almost at the doctor's. But yeah, watching that has triggered me, and it's caused my foot to flare. So yeah, something as silly as, you know, watching or hearing about someone else's pain can be enough. And I was in a lot of pain last week, and I took a break from the trial for you know, I didn't watch it as long, on a couple of days, and tried to distract myself by doing some creative things, which is brilliant. Creativity and craft for pain therapy is amazing, and I absolutely will be doing a video on that. But yeah, as I am today, my foot's quite bad today actually. I do drive, it's an automatic, so I only use the one foot. Of course it's my right foot, which is my bad foot. But recently got rid of a smaller car, and I'm using our bigger car, and the pedals and the comfort is it's a lot better for me, and it causes me pain to drive, but I don't want to say you get used to the pain. You live with it. I mean, what would be the point in complaining about absolutely every little thing. Don't get me wrong, I do complain. I'm sure my partner will tell you I complain a lot about my foot, but there'll be no point in doing everyday things. You know, I mean, just getting up and walking across the kitchen hurts me, but there'd be no point in vocalising that to everybody, you know, because that would make me miserable, and I don't want to be miserable. I do complain about my foot. If I'm in a flare, I'll complain that my foot's hurting, and obviously I'm taking more medications than normal, which is not great. So yeah, people do know about it, but on the whole, I really try not. I know my partner's going to laugh his head off on that, but I do try not to complain too much, because I don't want to be a miserable person constantly moaning about how much my foot's hurting, and you know, I just don't. So yeah, I'm pain level today's about a 7. I've got to get out in a second. I'm almost here, and walk to the doctor's. It's going to hurt to walk, and then I've got to walk just across the road to the chemist, which is going to hurt. They're then going to keep me waiting in there. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get some looks because I've sat down, and then I feel like I need to explain to people that I am disabled. You know, you can't see it, it's invisible, but it is what it is. And I'm parking. I'm about to put my blue badge up while I hobble to the chemist. I will get some looks from people when I get out of the car. Oh, that's a disabled space. You're not meant to park there. Ignorance is incredible. But yeah, I'm glad I managed to do this video. It's going to be a lot of editing of ums and ahs and whatnot out. I'm going to pop into the doctors and hope that they've got the tablets, and into the chemist and hope that they've got the tablets. And this is one of the worst things I think about having a chronic illness, is just the whole ordering medications, and then I don't have them delivered to my home. I think there are people that need that, you know. If I can make it to the chemist, I'll pick them from the chemist or the doctors. But yeah, thank you for watching and listening to my rambling, and let's go and see if they've got these tablets. I'm now on my way home. It wasn't too painful getting a prescription this time, although every day's painful, I suppose. The process of getting the pills was not painful today. Doctors was open, chemist was open, wasn't that busy, and now I'm on my way home. I'm about halfway, I think. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I am going to be posting more videos once I get over my fear of sitting in front of the camera. A terrible, terrible fear of the camera, and I hate the sound of my voice. I'm not Welsh, as you probably gathered. I'm a Londoner living in Wales. I just don't like the sound of my voice. I didn't come here young enough to lose the accent, unfortunately, so it's a bit of a mix of Cockney, South East London, the odd Welsh word. I will really try to get over this fear and post more videos. That's why I did this one today, because I knew that I didn't have to sit looking into the camera with people coming in and out of the room, and the rest of the palaver that comes with being at home. Dogs barking and washing machines going, and you know, the usual. But I'm really going to try, because I feel like there are people, well, I know there are lots of people with CRPS, and I watch YouTube videos, not just about CRPS, but yeah, if I can help someone, if they're just newly diagnosed and you know, they're scared, and because it is so frightening when you read, you know, and it's no fun having chronic pain. It's, you know, 24/7 for the rest of your life. I do have my down days. I think anybody would that was in 24-hour pain. But like I said before, I do take an antidepressant, though it's not for depression. And I do know if I take it late or I forget to take it, my mood really does go downhill quick. So they're obviously helping my mood, even though that's not why I take them. But yeah, if I can help someone, and I want to put my story out as well. Like I said, I've got 5 kids. I've only got 2 at home now. The 2 at home obviously know a bit more about what goes on or went on with me than the others, because they're older, and my oldest is 31, I believe. She'll kill me now. Probably added years onto her. My youngest is 18. My oldest is 31. And my oldest knows exactly what I went through, because she was there with me at the hospital. The 2 boys don't really know. They know I'm in pain. They know I've got a rare condition, and don't know if they know what it's called, to be honest. It's nice to do the video, so if they want to watch it, they can watch it. Maybe they'll understand a bit more. I don't know. Like I said, I try not to bother people with it. If I'm having a bad day, you know, I'll tell them. I mean, I think the worst thing for me, I mean, today obviously I've gone out because I've had to go out and get a prescription. I don't go out a lot because it is such it's quite stressful, you know, going out. And my CRPS has spread. That's probably for another video as well, but it has spread to places, including my bladder. So that's an issue. If I have to go out, it's an issue. I take medication for it now. They did offer me Botox injections into my bladder. Can you imagine what I thought about that? But anyway, it's quite a chore to get out, and that's, for me, probably the worst thing. That I can't do as much as I'd like to do. I mean, I've got grandchildren. I wish I could do more. I do see them, you know. They come to visit Nanny, and I do see them, but it's, yeah, that's the worst thing, I think, about the pain and the condition itself. It does affect that part of my life more than I'd like it to, but you know, there are ways around these things. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I am not too far from home. The sun is actually, I'm sure you can see, out today. We've just had Storm Kieran, I believe, and we've got more wet and windy weather to come, which is just great. My foot is hurting because of the driving, but yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you've watched me ramble, feel free to leave comments and subscribe if you'd like to. I think the more comments and subscribers I get, the more it will spur me on to continue making videos and get over my fears, and you know, so yeah, thanks a lot, and hopefully I will be talking again and you can listen to me ramble a bit more. But thanks anyway. Bye.